Good evening. You know what time it is. It's the Yankee Doodle Evening Report. Yo, gonna bring you the best news updates, what's going on in across the country. Yo, make sure you tap in. Yo, the Yankee Doodle giving you the breaking news every morning, all day long. Stay with us. And yo, make sure you support our supporting brands. Sponsor, Picky Music. Watch cool music videos, discover new music. Set your playlist and get paid for it. That's what I'm talking about, right? We ain't just listening to Apple Music, Spotify, all this stuff, just streaming. You want to check out the newest cool videos, you know what I'm saying? That's catered for you and then get paid for it. Tap the link in my bio right now. Download your free link, Picky NYC. Let's get it, all right? So we're going to get right into the news. President Joe Biden signed a new executive order tonight providing protections for members of the LGBTQI plus community. President Joe Biden has spoken on this issue previously before, and now he's signing an executive order really taking an attack at not only conversion therapy, but using the Health and Human Services to provide statewide guidances on how to provide better health care services for LGBTQI people, and also really looking at children pursuing conversion therapy or, gender transition surgery, etc. So here's the president's statements on these matters previous.
We are desperately concerned about the circumstance relating to avian flu. We don't have enough vaccines. We don't have enough police officers. And we're going to debate the next 3 weeks, I'm told, gay marriage, a flag amendment, and God only knows what else. I can't believe the American people can't see through this. We already have a law, the Defense of Marriage Act. We've all voted, I voted, and others said, look, marriage is between a man and a woman.
My order will use the full force of the federal government to prevent inhumane practices of conversion therapy. This is the first time. The federal government is leading a coordinated response against this dangerous, discredited practice. The executive order will also support mental health for children by addressing bullying and suicide and making our schools safer. Addressing the nation's mental health crisis is a key pillar of the unity agenda I announced in the State of the Union address.
Major shift up, but look, there's a lot of things happening with these people, specifically children right now, and also the Transgender Alliance. The International Transgender Alliance is now putting out documents saying that conversion therapy for children should begin at 14 years old. Whoa, you know what I'm saying? They're saying that, due to, suicide rates, mental health, and, just the distress that these children are under, to identify as a sex that they don't feel that they are, or, that they don't identify with, is creating a lot of problems. And so, parents are now being suggested that they allow their children to begin transitioning at the age 14, and even suggesting that they can start doing conversion therapy or process their surgeries at 15 years old. So, we're going to look at how this plays out across the states. Over the past year, there have been over 300 anti-LGBTQ bills passed across the United States again. Many of them, specifically in states such as Alabama or Mississippi, have been put in place to prevent children from receiving health care in schools or, certain bathrooms, etc. North Carolina is a great example also, where they weren't allowed, children were not being given the same rights as they pursued transition or gender transition surgery. This, be on the lookout for this as it develops going forward. So now getting into the politics. In New York City, Mayor Eric Adams has come out in strong support of Kathy Hochul. She's a current governor seeking her first full term after former Governor Cuomo was removed from office. And this is huge for Kathy Hochul. She is in a tight race against not only it's not tight anymore. she really is taking a strong headwind to take the lead. But on the Republican side, there does look like she will have some opposition. So for her securing not only the Latinx vote in New York City, but the black vote, this will be huge. They did a rally in Manhattan where they were supported by 3 major unions. First, the Hotel Trade Council Union, also the Building Services Workers Union, as well as the Gaming Trade Union. So this is going to be huge as it plays out. Also, Antonio Delgado, he also received support from one of these groups as well, as he is seeking to take the lieutenant governor seat. So we're going to see how this plays out in New York City. There will be a debate tomorrow night, Thursday night, on NBC4 with all 3 of the Democratic candidates taking the stage again. So in the last debate, we saw not only Froghorn Leghorn, as I call him, Mr. the Chicken Man, Jumaane Williams, but then also Tom Suzio going at Kathy Hochul on some of her issues. But she was holding it up. She was holding up strong. So we're gonna see how this plays out in the city of New York. Across the country, though, these efforts from New York Congresswoman, Republican Elise Stefanik, she's basically number 4 in the Republican Party right now. These efforts that she started in 2014, I did a report on it previously, to secure more Republican candidates is becoming strongly effective. Mayra Flores has taken Texas's 34th district in a special election Tuesday night. She flipped. It was a Democratic seat, and in Texas that was huge, as been a lot of efforts from the Democratic Party to make Texas blue, or certain regions of it blue, so that they can begin competing in that Southwest area, as we saw in the 2020 election between Donald Trump and Joe Biden. That was huge, not only sending shockwaves through other states such as Arizona and Nevada, but really having that contention and Democratic presence will be huge for the next election in these midterms. So Mayra Flores, she's a Hispanic woman. She's a Republican, and she's also a member of QAnon. She's a QAnon supporter. So this is like emphasizing the Marjorie Greene Taylors of the world. These people, these Trump people who are supporting these ideas that frankly are destroying the fabric of our society. They're perpetuating hate, some of these other ideas. So, we need to be on the lookout for how it plays not only here in New York, as this state is becoming progressively more libertarian, more red, as you see in Long Island, parts of Queens, also coming down from upstate. But, across the country in these battleground states, Ohio, Pennsylvania, right next to us, here in New York, and in the South specifically. So, you can check out my report that I did on this previously on my YouTube. But, basically there's a website. The Republican Party is finding and creating these candidates and giving them smear campaigns that they can run in areas where they're going unopposed. They're taking out Democratic challengers using hate and fear. Is that the politics in the world we want to live in? I think you got to ask that for yourself. We've experienced some of it in New York previously, as Max Rose and others, were being unseated. So, this is something that will send shockwaves across the country. All right, now to some more serious matters. The Buffalo shooter has been charged with 26 counts of hate crimes and weapon charges from the DOJ. This is this tragedy that we saw in Buffalo earlier in the month of May, not only killed 10 African Americans, but sent shockwaves across the country on gun reforms that were needed and more protections that we need to do to provide safety for our citizens. And with the federal moratorium on the death penalty, the actions by the shooter could lead to a shift and change, and they're thinking that maybe there may be the resulting in the death penalty from this. So we're going to see how this plays out. Across the country, we're seeing national retail sales decline at 0.3%. Wow. effectively. That comes from a lot of spending habits that we have, as we are currently in a recession, and, with the housing crisis going down, and also auto dealers such as Ford doing major recalls, and declining in sales. This could potentially lead us to something worse than a recession in the next 4 to 5 years. So as you see here, Ford is having an issue. They had to recall over 3 million cars based on a brake pedal malfunction, where the brake pedal separated from the actual brake. And it would lead to the cars, some of them crashing, some of them stopping, brake lights being on. So this will be on the lookout. So you have one of these models, you just take it to your Ford dealer and they'll replace some of the parts. Another car issue that we see going on across the country, and we wanted to see this development not only in electronic vehicles, but other vehicles, more advanced vehicles that are going to be coming out, is automated driving. Tesla is accounting for over 270 of the 397 crashes that they did tests on in Austin, Texas. So in Austin, they've been doing tests on these automated driving vehicles, so that you'll be able to drive hands-free, no hands on the whip and stuff like that. And as you can see here from the video, these tests have not been as effective as they hope. These automated cars do require a lot more attention and focus from the drivers than they were expected. And the concern is that, as you can see from the crashes here, some of the automated systems don't give the drivers enough time to react to protect themselves in the event of a crash, whether the brakes suddenly slam or sometimes they malfunction altogether and the car continues to roll. So this is important, as these systems are going to be integrated in cars over the next 5 years, these automated driving systems. So, we need to be up to date on this and report. They have been doing tests in Austin, Texas. You can check it out on YouTube. So finally, before we wrap up tonight, the war in Ukraine is continuing to rage on. President Zelensky had a meeting with the EU today and is calling for a 7th round of sanctions on Russia. So we've been reporting on a daily. The Ukraine is getting hammered from this war. As you can see from the map here, Russia has secured a significant part of these areas, specifically Severodonetsk and Lysychansk is currently where a major war is happening, where, Russia has again, closed and shut down many of the bridges in Severodonetsk, and leaving Lysychansk as the only Ukrainian stronghold that they have remaining. So the EU is coming in saying that they are going to offer more weapon support and more NATO standards weapons. Again, as the Ukraine was using Soviet era weapons and missiles. The United States has also come out and said they're going to provide another $1.6 billion in support of the Ukraine to ensure that they'll be able to protect themselves. As President Zelensky and the Ukrainian government has said openly that they want to work with the United States. They're willing to be a major supporter of the United States in Eastern Europe. And allow for our citizens to go there and build strong and foster good relationships. So we're gonna see as this continues to wage on and as this war continues on, what's gonna happen. But this is a major impact because Russia is not giving up. He has fear that Putin's plan is to expand his campaign, his war campaign, from Warsaw to Sofia, Bulgaria. Yes, so as you can see north, north of the Ukraine is Bulgaria. This would allow Russia to have major influence on this area and become a major power player across the world. So, this Ukrainian war really does matter, and it impacts all of us. As this is the United States at war with, Russia. This is these Western European powers are now, assuming and, seeing the efforts that Russia's making. And, we don't want to end up in World War III, but, if they're continuing to pressure it, we're going to see what happens. We're definitely going to be providing some more military strength. But, this has been a Yankee Doodle Report. If you got tips on news stories that you want covered, things that you want to talk about, let me know. Send me a beat. My contact, my email is right on the page right there. Also, just a quick update again. I'll be providing a report on my time at Rikers facility. I got some great news today. We're going to be getting a working with some great support. Met some great power players that are going to be helping me out with this. Going to be getting a video soon of the incident so everyone can see. And, you know, we can't allow these injustices to continue on. So I'll be providing a full report on my experience at Rikers very soon. May not be this week, but, you know, I will try my best to provide an article or something more. And there will be a video and stuff that I'll be providing soon, too. So stay tuned, locked in with the Yankee Doodle. Yo, check us out.